Damn. Everyone, I'm Running Unchained. I have seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the new installation to the MCU, but the one last ride for James Gunn and Marvel Studios, and for this story of these Guardians. I I love this movie, and I've been used to seeing stuff already that looks poppy and might interest me, and they might make a good trailer, and sometimes the movie might not deliver for me. I felt, shockingly enough, that I don't know if it was me putting it on myself, but the trailers weren't getting me, which was a good thing, because I had been so hyped on just what I had heard from what was showcased at last year's San Diego Comic-Con, and the footage they showed, the trailer they had, which hasn't been released online, which I would like to, but with a particular song they used, "Do You Realize" by the Flaming Lips. And I've heard that song over and over and over, and I've gotten emotional about it, and that's been the anchor for what this movie might be. And it is. And more. I have never wanted to hug these characters so much in my life, and I've never wanted to just tell them that how much they're loved, how much they're appreciated more than I have ever in my life. Let's just get this out of the way. There are sometimes in the first act, second act, there are jokes and bits that don't land for me, and not because I have no sense of humor, but because it followed up an emotional moment, and I felt that was setting cushion afterwards, instead of just letting it play, not letting it play out, but just let that sit there and be like, it's not just funs and ha-has and ho-ho hee-hees the whole time. Just let this sit down. So you do get some of that stamp that I'm not too crazy about, but the dramatic stuff that James Gunn has written elevates and surpasses my nitpicks with some of the jokes initially. Rocket, Nebula, Peter, Mantis. I don't want to spoil too much for you. It's just I cried so many times for different reasons: sadness, joy, exhilaration, cheer, laughter. It's been a while since I've laughed so much for a joke or a bit. In the third act, or towards the end of the second act, that involves Nebula and Star-Lord in a car. And that's all I'm gonna say. And everybody gets their due. Everybody has a moment. Everybody has an arc, and stuff is brought back, circled from the first Guardians and from the second Guardians. I remember being like, the first one is a classic because I saw it the summer I graduated high school, and I watched it 4 or 5 times in the movie theater. It was my kind of Star Wars, if you will. I didn't know nothing about the Guardians, and I just watched it over and over again, and bought the soundtrack and listened to that soundtrack over and over again. And I feel I'm gonna be the same way for this one. The soundtrack, I made it a goal not to hear it before I saw the movie, and then they're playing some of the music, and I'm like, I dig this song. I don't know what it is, and that's how it played out in the movie. I can't wait to talk about the soundtrack later on. But then there's a character introduced for the first time in the MCU. The song they choose to introduce him in the first time in the MCU is so unique, and I can't stress how much this story meant to me, especially with stuff they bring up that now in where I'm at in my life, it hits harder at times. But that's my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, my non-spoilers talks. I cannot wait to go into spoilers and just give out details about what I thought about a scene, what a moment represents, and what this stuff. But this is worth the price of admission. I traveled. I'm not in my home, as you can see. I traveled to another city to be able to watch it ahead of time and review it and give my thoughts to Team JVS. And fortunately, shout out to them for giving me the opportunity and to also share it in my channel. And it was worth everything. The wait time in the plane, TSA, wait time in the theater, everything. It was worth it. It was worth it. And now I'm in the zone to just listen to the soundtrack and probably rewatch the movies and the holiday special leading up to my second viewing of the film. Hope we can hear your thoughts on the film. And yeah, take care.